two files. Let us start with the file number 1. So there is a file. One is business transaction, another one is transaction data. We'll come to the transaction data later. Let us open the file called as business transaction. There is a file called as business transaction. So please open the file called as business transaction. So it's an Excel file where I can see there are some list of sheets available. Invoice, trans, payment record, customer info, geographic data, region details, product master and product category and employee master. I believe there are 8 or 9 sheets available. In Excel, you have an option to know how many sheets are available here. Just go to the status bar of your Excel file, make a right click on it. Go to the status bar of your Excel, make a right click. A menu will appear. On the menu, you can see there is an option available called as sheet numbers. Enable that sheet number just by making a check mark on it. When I enable the sheet number, you will get the list of sheet numbers available. I enable the sheet number and I press escape. Yes, you can see there are around 9 sheets available here. So totally we have 9 sheets. This 9 sheets, as he has told, this 9 sheet, all the 9 sheets are different. First sheet is having invoice, second sheet is having invoice trans, third one is having payment record, and fourth one is having customer info. All the sheets are different. All the sheets are not unique. All the sheets are not identical. If it is unique, identical, in Excel, in Power Query, we have an option called as appending the query, and we have an option called as combining the file, which we all learned in the basics of Power BI itself. But unfortunately, all the columns or all the sheets are different. So now we have to combine all the sheets and we have to create a report. We cannot write a lookup for this. We cannot use a merge query for this. For example, I have a customer ID. Based on the customer ID, I want to know who is the customer for it and where the customer is living, in which city the customer belongs to, so that I can find city-wise what is my total or customer-wise what is my total. But unfortunately, customer ID, the customer name is available in customer info table. So here I can see the customer name is available. But how can I find in which city or which region they are here? So we have a location ID. So the location ID is available in geographic data. So based on this location ID, it shows what is the city name, what is the state name, what is the country name. So how many lookups we can write, which will be very tougher. When you download the data from SAP, when you download the data from SQL, Oracle or any data source, your table looks like this. So different tables, but there are some common columns between the tables. So we have to combine all these columns and we are going to create a report based on this. Maybe we would have did this somewhat, we would have did this in the basics of Power BI also, but we'll recap it again and we'll import this data first to Power BI. Then we'll see how to create a report based on this. We'll start with some DAX measures and other features today. So let me close this file. Control W is the shortcut key for closing that Excel file. Don't close the entire Excel application. It may slow down your system speed. Close only that particular file. And let me go to Power BI. You know there are several methods of getting the data in Power BI. Method number 1, when you open the Power BI desktop, straight away on the welcome screen. On the welcome screen itself, you have an option of getting the data. So when you go to that welcome screen, so this is my welcome screen. On the welcome screen itself, you can see there is an option of getting the data from Excel. So you can straight away get the data from Excel. Method number 1. Maybe in the older version, who came for very older version, maybe 1 year, 2 years before, we don't have this option. We have to open a blank report, then only you can get the data in the older version of Power BI. But I think 1 year before they have updated this. So you can get the data on the home screen itself. Method number 1. Method number 2. I hope in Daimler you have started using OneLake also here. I heard they have started using OneLake. What is the usage of this OneLake is? In your company or any company, they can use multiple data source. SQL, Oracle. One data may be stored in SQL, another data may be stored in Oracle, another data may be stored in CSV, another data stored in Excel or any other data source. 99, as I told, 99.9% they will not give you the access to share your original data. You cannot access your original data because your original data may get disturbed. So that's why Microsoft has created something like OneLake. OneLake will have a replica of your original data, like a mirror image of your original data. Your original data will be as it is. It will take a copy of your original data and you can access that duplicate data. It will be as it is as original data. It will take a mirror image. Even if you add the data on the source, it will get updated on this OneLake. So, and all that databases can be connected through one username password. So they are making this OneLake as soon as possible. I think OneLake you will get it sooner. I think Microsoft is doing it. They will make this OneLake catalog. To OneLake you can connect the data. So in future, no need to download the data to Excel and put it into Power BI. Straight away you can connect with your source data. But it will not connect with your original data. It will connect with the another image of your original data. It will take a copy of your original data. It will take one more copy of your original data. The original data will not get disturbed. That's the main motive of this OneLake. Okay, near future you may get it. So as of now, either you can go for this Excel workbook, method 1. Method number 2, I can go to the blank report. Under the blank report, you can open the file. Under file, after opening a blank report, you can see file. Below the file, there is an option of getting the data. Second method. Third method, you can go to the home tab. Under home tab, you can see there is an option of getting the data. Fourth method, on the canvas area, you can see there is an option of getting the data. Okay. 4 possible methods are available to get the data. Whichever is better, whichever is convenient, you can use that method. Since I already landed into a blank report, I will go with this Excel workbook because I cannot use that welcome screen now because I already opened a blank report. So let me start with home tab and I'll go click on this Excel workbook. And I recommend, as usual, I recommend everyone to please work. Don't watch. Please work. If you have any questions, doubts, queries, stop me, ask me. There itself, I can repeat a concept any number of times until you understand. Right? So let us go to the home tab and click on Excel workbook. And let me select that file. I'm going to select the file. The file name is business transaction. Open. As usual, it will go to the navigator screen. Now it's going to the navigator screen. Under the navigator screen, all the 9 sheets would have been displayed. Help me or tell me, how can I select all the 9 sheets? What is the easiest or simplest method to select all the 9 sheets? What is the easiest or simplest method to select all the 9 sheets? I cannot go and make a tick mark every time. 9 times I cannot make a check mark. How do we select the first one? That's the question. First one, yes, what he said is correct. But the challenge is, don't go to the left-hand side and make a click. Don't do that. Don't go to the left-hand side. As he has told, left-hand side, I'm going to the customer info and make a click. And I press the shift key and I select the last one. You can see some sheet would have missed. Some sheet cannot be selected properly. So don't go to the left-hand side corner. It's always better. Don't go to the checkbox here. It's better to place the cursor somewhere else in the middle. Don't go to the checkbox. Somewhere else in the middle, click it, hold the shift key and select the last sheet. Now you can see all the 9 sheets would have selected. Okay. I hope you all will remember that 5 workflow, which I would have said in the basics in the starting itself. Just I'm recapping that 5 workflow. Could you tell me what is that 5 workflow? First we have to get the data. From where we can get the data? Any data source in the world. If the data is in, as he has told, rows and columns. If the data is in rows and columns, you can get the any data source. Second one, transform the data. Where do we transform the data? Power Query. Very good. Superb. Power Query will transform the data. After transforming the data, we will load the data. Where will be loading the data? Power BI desktop. Super. Fourth one, we'll create a report in this. After this, we'll create a report. To create a report, once again, we'll use Power BI desktop. The last one is we have to publish. Sorry. Publish. Where do we publish our report? Power BI services. In between, we are going to do something here. In between this 3 and 4, we are going to do something today. That is data modeling. We'll see that. What is the data modeling? We'll see that. So before that, first let us get the data. Now we are in the process of getting the data. After that, we have to transform, then load it, then report it, then publish it. We have an option straight away. You can get and load also, but I recommend not to do that. Always get it, transform it, and load it.
But by default, why this option is coming? Load.
Yeah, it believes that if your data is 100% clean, if there is no problem in your data, straight away you can load it. But my suggestion is always don't bypass it, select it, and then that's my suggestion. Sometimes if you think there is no problem at all, 100% my data is perfectly clean, straight away you can load it. But my suggestion, even though it seems to be perfect, better to go to transform, check it out, and then load. That's my suggestion. Okay.
If you have so many columns, like 100 columns.
That's what. Even I have recommended to Microsoft also, sir. So if there is the 200, 300 columns, there is a problem in 150th column. We have to search for it and we have to find it as of now. But they have said that they are working on it. I have given the feedback to them. As of now, no other go. If there is 100 columns, you have to check the 100 columns. No other go as of now. But they told they are finding some solution to do that. I don't know when it will be done. We'll see. We'll expect as soon as possible. Okay. Now, load. Load means it goes to, just now we have seen, load means it goes to Power BI desktop. Transform, it will go to Power Query. Yes. Now tell me, after loading this to Power Query, I would have told this in the basics of Excel also. Basics of Power BI, even advanced Excel also I would have told this. 3 things you have to check it on this Power BI, Power Query. What are all the 3 things mandatorily to be checked here? One is, you have to check whether your column is green. Or I can say one simple word is not red. I will tell you what is that, not red. Second one is heading. Super. Third one, data type. Super. These are all mandatorily you have to check this. Whether your data is green, not red, and the heading should be correct and your data type should be correct. Most of the problem is happening here. Heading is not correct. I have seen yesterday, some people are getting more doubts, more questions because the data type is not correct. If the data type is not correct, you cannot find the sum, you cannot find the average, you cannot find the yearly, weekly report, monthly report. That's not possible if you are all these 3 things as a problem. So yesterday also, some live data also I have seen, they are getting the problem because of these 3 things. So these 3 things you have to check here. And green, whether heading and data type. One is an optional. I would think I would have told that. One is an optional. Remove the empty rows or unwanted also. Sometimes unwanted. Empty rows and columns, and sometimes unwanted rows and columns has to be removed. Unwanted rows and columns also has to be removed. What is that unwanted rows and columns? For example, as I told, I have customer details. In customer details, there is an address, there is an email ID, there is a mobile number of the customer, which is not required for my reporting. I'm not going to use the mobile number for my reporting. So remove the unwanted columns, unwanted rows. Your data model should be slim. Don't increase the data model size. If you are increasing the data model size, then it will slow down your system speed. Today we are going to explore one more feature in the Power Query called as parameters. I may have lakhs and millions and billions, trillions of rows and columns. Day by day it's accumulating. But I don't want, my data may be very longer, but I want only the report for last 3 years. I don't want the entire data to be loaded. So you can set a parameter and you can select the parameter and you can load only that particular year data. Last 3 years. But suddenly someone is asking, now I want the last 50-year data. Yes, through the parameter, you can get the 50-year data also. So don't load the entire data. Don't load the entire data. Increase your file size. Reduce your data size. That's what we are going to do today. We'll do that. So first we have to check whether it's a green. Second, we have to check whether it's a heading is correct. Third one, we are data type is correct. One by one. Yes.
For me, the valid error and empty percentage.
Because you would have not enabled it. By default, what will happen is there is a green bar appearing, correct? You can see a green bar is appearing here. Below the column heading, there would have been a green bar. What is the usage of the green bar is when you place the cursor, it will show you what is the problem, whether you have an error, whether you have empty or anything. But instead of placing the cursor and showing it here, I can get this how many valid, how many errors and how many empties. To do that, you have to go to the view tab. Under view tab, you have to select the option called as column quality. Okay, now if we enable, the column quality would have been displayed. If you have enabled once, I think this will be permanently available.
Recently, I have updated. Yesterday, voice changed.
Okay.
The relay is kind of
Okay. Because the basics of Excel, we would have did this. Okay, view column quality, right? Like this, whatever you would have learned in basics also, no problem. Ask me, I can repeat it any number of times. So go to the view and select the column quality so that your column quality will be displayed. Here it should be 100% green. This column should be 100% green. Make it as green, at least not red. At least not red. If, for example, if there is a 90% is green, 10% is gray, no problem. No problem. Still you can use it. But there should not be a red. There should not be a red. Okay. So let me check this. First let me go to customer info. One by one we'll check that. I'll go to customer info. You have to tell me whether my customer info is clear or is there any problem in this customer info. Clear. Can you load it? But I just now I told you to remove the empty rows, empty columns and remove the data type. Which data type? Mobile number. Oh, 1 minute, sir. You are saying this one, right? You are saying this one is ABC. You want to convert it as a number. Why? Are we going to do any calculation with this mobile number? Do you want to find the sum of a mobile number or average of a mobile number? So that's not required. To go check the column, data type. But here it's not required. So actually I believe this email ID and mobile number is not required for my reporting itself. Because I am not going to use this data for my reporting. For reporting it's not required. So I can remove this unwanted columns. You tell me how can I remove the unwanted columns? Yes, how? Superb. Go to home tab. Under home tab, choose columns. If you go to the home tab, under the home tab there is an option called as choose columns.
why we should not remove.
Anyone? He is asking why we should not remove the column. What could be the answer for it?
Doesn't mean like we're not changing the pattern. We're just choosing these columns.
If I right click, suppose I am doing it, right click and I say remove column. You can see one step is added. Right click and I remove the column. Or you can select multiple and you can remove the columns also. Suppose I am selecting 2 or 3 columns and I removed it. Right, I am removing the columns. But unknowingly I have removed a column. Now I want my column back. How can I do that? If I delete it once again, all the column will come back. But I want only one column. So that's the reason when you go to choose column and I select only the wanted column, email address and mobile number. Unknowingly I have removed this customer name, unknowingly. Now I want my column back. You can see there is an option available called as settings, which is used for editing your last step. So now I can select the wanted columns and other columns can be. So you can edit your steps. Otherwise, every time you have to undo it and redo it. After this, there may be some steps. Your hierarchy will get collapsed. So better to go for choose column. Okay. Right. So using the choose column, I gone to choose column and I selected all the wanted columns, unchecked that unwanted columns, that is email ID and mobile number. Location ID, it's required because as I told, the location ID has some link with some other table that is required. So let me leave that. And employee master, you have to tell me whether the employee master is clean or any problem in this employee master. Sir has told some option. Sir, you told me something, right? Column proofing. But here, this table, I think we have only total rows is 91. So not required for more than 1000. If there is a very big table, then as he has told, for example, if I go to the invoice table, here we have more than 999 rows. Here you can check the column proofing. There you can do it. We'll go one by one. Yes. Which one? Would have got some error. Then it means there is some .NET problem. You have to restart. When you have installed that Power BI? Okay. After that you are using frequently. No. Some .NET has been added. So you have to restart it. Just restart the Power BI. Restart Power BI, restart Excel also. You would have gotten some unexpected error. பண்ணிட்டாரு அதனால எக்ஸல் பவர் பிஐ யூஸ் பண்ணலன்னு அர்த்தம். This indicate you are not using Power BI frequently. Okay. Want me to wait? Also getting the same problem. Yes. Just we are cleaning up the data. Watch it, sir. Still you are facing the problem. Any challenges? Stop me.
Empty column and empty data. In Excel file, it is a thickness and null.
Because sometimes a space. There can be a space.
Yeah,
That is empty.
additional column, right? Again, searching the null, again, they make it empty.
Not have the empty. Again, the last time was optional. But to make your data model better, we are removing. If you want, you can have that also.
Having that also works. No.
So your data model size will increase. Unnecessarily adding the extra column, it will increase your size. That should be okay. But that three things is important. In the red report, heading should be correct, data complete. Sir? No, sir. Have you restarted it?
That's probably, I think, laptop have to be installed, right?
No, just to try. Just go to Excel. Select just fine. Open. Okay. Now, I checked with the customer info, removed the unwanted columns. Unwanted columns, not the empty. This is not mandatory. Mandatorily, it should be even no. For my data model, I want to slim my data model. That's the reason I'm removing the unwanted columns. Let me go to the employee master. In employee master, I can see there are some empty columns available here. There are some empty columns. Photo path. Someone has asked how to insert an image or photo path. In that case, we will use the photo path later. Suppose we have an employee and I have the photograph of that employee. The employee photograph has to be displayed. We'll do that. We'll do that. As of now, it's gray. I don't want this empty column. I want to remove this empty column. Notes and photo path. We don't want it. So let us go to home tab again. Let us go to the choose column again. And I remove this notes and remove the photo path. All the other columns is required now. Birth date and hire date is required. To find the age, to find the experience, it may be required. To find the aging analysis. Today we are going to work with the aging analysis also. So let us say OK. So I removed that unwanted columns. Geographic data, I believe no problem. Invoice, no problem. Invoice trans, no problem. All are green. Heading is correct. And once again, as she has told, that very important concept is the data type. You have to check your data type, whether data type is correct. If the data type is not correct, you have to change the data type. Will you tell me any idea how do we change the data type? For example, assume that this unit of cost is not in a proper data type. It's not a number, it's a text. How do we convert the data type here? There are two methods. First, give a chance to Power Query. 99% Power Query will change the data type. If it is not changing, go to the transform and there is an option called as detect data type. First, detect it. Still, if it is not able to detect, what you said is correct. Go to the corner here and change the data type to fixed decimal or whole number or whatever. So first you have to give the chance to Power Query to change the data type. If it is not changing, then you step in and change it. Right? Which one? If you want the currency also, you can do it. It doesn't make a very big difference for this data. Currency also, it's okay. 99%. Very rarely, sometimes it may not detect. In that case, you have to detect it. Very rare. But as he has told, I missed one step. Invoice table. In invoice table, I can see there are more than 999 rows. That means it goes more than 1000 rows. How do I identify it? Is when you place the cursor on this gray, maybe this green area, it says 1000 rows are valid, 0 empty and 0 errors. But there are more than 1000 rows. We may have lakhs and millions and billions and trillions of rows. If you want to check your data, whether my data is clean or not for the entire data source, it's purely based on your data. If you believe that first 1000 rows, all the rows will be similar to the first 1000 rows, you can leave it. But sometimes I may get an error in 3000 rows. Sometimes I may get an error in 6000 rows also. In that case, better to select the entire data set. How can I check that column proofing for the entire data set is? There is a bottom, you can see there is an option available. Column proofing is based on top 1000 rows. It will check only for the top 1000 rows. But I click here and I go for column proofing for the entire data set. Now if there is a red or a green or a gray, it will show it on the top. If I place the cursor here, now it says there are 6499 rows valid. No problem. 6000 rows, so approximately 6500 rows are correct. No issues on that. So it will load the entire data. Even though if you are checking 1000 rows, even though checking the entire data, it will load the entire data. This is to check whether your data is right or wrong. Is there any error? To find the column proofing, to check the column quality, we are doing it. Loading, it will load the entire data always.
number data. Some of the cell is having a
Text also. Text.
text also. How it will detect?
A, B, C. Text. It will be treated as a text. Because it's having some text. So you cannot use the sum there. You can use only the count and other part. Because it's a text. Forcefully, if you convert, it will throw an error also. So it will be treated as a text.
We have to change the profiling for each individual sheet, or can we do it together?
This one, column proofing.
Profile.
Entire one by one.
One by one. We can't
Because-
change, select it for all the sheets.
Because as I told, here we have only lesser. Here no need for checking for the entire data set.
The invoice, investment, all those things are more than
Maybe one or two sheets, it's better to select. You have to go one by one and you have to select it. Why they didn't make it as default is, sometimes we have 30 lakh rows. To slow down your system process. To check all the 30 lakh rows, it will slow down. So if you want, you can do that. Suppose you are manufacturing a product, I want to check all the 10,000 products, it will take more time, correct? I want to check first 100 products, it will be very faster. So you have to decide and you have to select manually. You cannot change it even. You have to go to every sheets. As he has told, invoice stands also some, I have more than 1,000 rows, so I can check with the entire data set. And I place the cursor over here. 9,762 data are there. All the data are clear. No problem. And then payment record. No problem. Product category. No problem. Product master. No problem. And region details. No problem. So all the 9 sheets are perfect. So there are two problems in customer info. I had some unwanted columns. Employee master, I had some empty columns. That are all the true columns I have removed. No problem. Other than that, we don't have any problem here. Okay. Can I load this? Empty. But I didn't have it. This one. Received column. That is empty because we didn't receive the payment. Let it be empty, or you can make it as some other date. Here what I can do, it is empty. The reason is we didn't receive the payment. Let it be empty. Maybe recent days I would have not received the payment. The invoice which is made very recently would have not received the payment. That's why it's empty. It can be empty, no problem. As I told, no reds. Gray is allowed to some extent. Product category, product master, region details. Okay. Sir, now it's okay. Shall you move on? The empty columns here are removed. Super. For all, you are very fast. And let me close and apply now. Home tab. Close and apply. We are going to load this to Power BI. When I load this to Power BI, you can note in a few seconds you will get a small message there. Don't do anything. Please wait. It will say apply changes or discard changes. Don't do anything. Please wait for a few minutes or few seconds. It is getting loaded to my Power BI now. So we have get the data. We have transformed the data. Now loading. You will get a message here very fastly. Detecting relationship. In a few span of second, you will get a message called as detecting relationship. Loading data. Synchronizing schema, loading data. After that, in a few seconds, you will get a message. Yes. Now it's loading that detecting relationship. It has detected the relationship files into. On the right hand side, you can see all your tables are available here. All your tables has been loaded. All the 9 tables was loaded here. Okay. But unknowingly, knowingly, I didn't transform a data properly. Now I want to go back to Power Query. For example, assume that I didn't load this invoice trans properly. I want to make some changes in this invoice trans. Some column is missing, or my data type is not correct. Invoice cost is not in a Sigma format. Quantity is not a Sigma format. I have to go back to Power Query and I have to modify. Could you tell me what is the easiest or simplest method to go back to Power Query again? Home. transform. But yes, what you said is correct. But the problem is, when I go to home transform, it goes to Power Query. Here I have 9 tables. I want to make some changes in the table number transaction, the invoice trans. So you have to manually go there and you have to select it here. Suppose I have 20 tables here. 20 tables means I want to make some changes in the 15th table. So you have to find the 15th table and you have to click it here. Instead, the easiest method is, yes, right click on that particular table and go for edit query. So this is easier. So straight away it will land into that particular query. So it's easier to do that. Instead of transforming and selecting the particular query, right click and edit query, it straight away lands into the same query here. Okay. Now I'm closing this. Will you tell me what will happen whenever you had the data in the source? I'm adding some data in the source. Whether it will be updated in your Power BI now? You have to refresh it. Superb. But assume this data source, now it's residing in the D drive corporate training in this particular folder. Tomorrow, due to some reasons, as he has told, they are reloading your Windows, they are reloading your OS, and they are changing your drives. And this file, I am going to put it into D drive. I am going to put it into my OneDrive or some other. My location has changed. As of now, my location is here. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, or my location has changed here. So now, could you tell me how can I establish that link again? Because your link will be removed now. Home transform. Okay. Drop down. Very good. So you have to go to the transform. Superb. Data source settings. Then change source. Perfect. One more is available. Today we are going to explore that. In the same transform data source, we have something called as edit parameters. Today we will explore that edit parameters.
We have facing some deleting the column which already loaded in the column.
You should not delete. Even I would have told that do's and don'ts. Then you have to reload it again. Then go to Power Query, remove that row, and you have to reload it again. No, don't delete the columns. Don't rename the columns. Don't rename your sheet also. In the training itself, we would have told some do's and don'ts. Don't do that. Should not delete your source data. Source data is deleted, then column is data. If you want to add or something column, do it at the last. Don't do it somewhere else in the middle. If you're deleting the column, there will be a problem. 100% you will get a problem. Source file you can rename, not the sheet. We have a sheet names, right? This sheet names. And one more thing, people are doing this more frequently. Whenever you are doing some operation, when you are doing some refresh, please ensure that your source file is closed. If source file is opened and refresh it, it may throw an error also. This is happening more frequently. So your source file should be closed when you are refreshing the data, when you are doing something. Now I didn't do anything. Now you can open it and you can do any activity. But while refreshing, please ensure that your source file is closed. The don'ts are, don't change your sheet name. Don't change your column names. Don't delete the columns. If you want to add the column, yes, where can we add it? Don't add it in the middle. Then there will be a problem. Then we have to reload it again. No other way.
Right, then again the reloading also after the designing takes time.
It has to be designed properly. Otherwise, there will be a problem. Column inserting, deleting will be a problem.
Columns are added in the source file itself.
You can get it. That you can get it. That is not a problem. That's why it will source file column added at the last, not in the middle. Last add panina it will appear. We can add a column and check it also. Today check panina. Okay. And I think we are working on this file for a very long time. Unfortunately, I didn't save the file. So let me save it now. Go to File, Save As, Browse. Let me give a name. I think I will give the same name of my Excel file name, business transaction. Okay. Right. Now we have 9 sheets. We cannot write a lookup for 9 sheets, but I want to create a report. For example, I want to know region wise what is the count of invoice number. But region name is available in region table, invoice number is available in invoice table. How can I connect and how can I create a report? Don't worry, Power BI will take care of it. If the columns are identical, for example, if I go to the customer info, I have a column called as customer ID. I have a column called as location ID. In this geographic data, there is a column called as location ID. You can see the location ID is available, location ID is available. Automatically Power BI will check whether the location ID is available here and location ID is available. If the data type is correct, if the data are correct, if the heading is correct, it automatically creates a relationship between the table. It automatically creates a relationship. That's the power of using this Power BI. It automatically creates. Very rarely it will not create. 99% it will create a relationship. Very rarely if it is not creating, we will create it. So how do we check this relationship, whether all my tables are connected or not? There is a third button available here called as model view. Model view. Maybe the new version users, old version you would have not explored this. There are 2 new tabs available here. DAX view, TMDL view. Data analysis view, TMDL list, table, module, data language view. This is for coding. Both are for coding. We'll explore it. Select this option, model view. Click on this model view. When you click on the model view, it's something shows like a spider web. Some columns, some table headings and columns are available. Let me collapse this properties. I'm collapsing the properties because I need some space on my screen. So that's the reason we are collapsing the properties. So I'll collapse this and reduce my size of my screen because I want to see all the 9 sheets. I will reduce the size of my screen. Yes. Now you can see all the 9 sheets are available. Directly, indirectly, all the 9 sheets should be connected. All the 9 sheets should be connected here. One is not connected. Okay, employee master. We'll see why it's not connected. We'll see how to connect it. But how this invoice number and customer info is connected, just now I told you, or how this invoice number, customer info and geographic data is connected. Just now we explored the common column is customer ID. Customer ID and, location ID and location ID. It should be connected. How it's connected, how do I know that? There is an arrow mark available here. Place the cursor over that arrow mark. When I place the cursor over that arrow mark, it shows how the connection. Location ID, location ID. Customer info, we have the location ID. Geographic data, we have the location ID. So that two are connected. Same like I place the cursor on this invoice table and customer table. Customer ID, customer ID. That's connected.
Significance of arrow mark, which is
Arrow mark doesn't mean anything, but this has a meaning. One and asterisk. One to many.
But one connection not happen here, that invoice transaction
Invoice transaction and
payment.
but that payment record is connected with it's connected. Invoice number, invoice.
Other file, but why not this page?
No, here we have unique invoice numbers. That's why it's connected with this. Here invoice same invoice number would have been repeated multiple times. One invoice we would have made 2 or 3 products also. In a single invoice I would have bought 2 or 3 products. That's why here it's not. Here also invoice number would have been repeated multiple times. Same invoice number, one time I would have received the payment and 10 days before same invoice number I would have received another payment also. So here the invoice number would have been repeated multiple times. Here also invoice number would have been repeated multiple times. That's why these 2 tables are not connected. So here we have one too many. That is it's connected. If you want to connect, you can connect, but it will give you the wrong output. So better not to connect that. Which one is having double?
records to invoice.
Payment records to invoice. Double arrow.
Center. Both lines.
No. Here it's connected with invoice trends and connected with the payment.
Sir, on the center because arrow symbol. One-to-one relation that it's showing.
Correct. That's what one-to-one relationship. Here I think it's one-to-one relationship. So one invoice number only one time available. One to many and one to one. One to what is that one to many? One to many. Maybe one customer would have made many invoices. That's why the one to many is available. Many to one means many invoices made by one customer. Both are same. It doesn't make any difference here. Both are same. Both are same. So olden days we have to find this. Olden days we have to find this. Whether there is one to many relationship or many to one relationship, and we have to connect it. But here Power BI takes care of it. But unfortunately, this employee master is not connected. Why? What is the reason it's not connected is, I think let us go to the employee table. There is an employee ID available here. This employee ID should be available in some other table. Maybe there would have been some typo error. There would have been some spelling mistake or some other error. That's the reason there is no connection between that. Customer info.
Because it's shown as MPID in
EMP ID, correct. In invoice table, we have the column name called as EMP ID. Here it's employee ID. Some small typo error. So two things to solve this. One is you can change your heading on the source itself. But unfortunately, I cannot change my source. As he has told, when you change the source, there will be a problem. If you change the column name, there will be a problem in connection and other things. You cannot change the source name here. So second thing what we can do is, you can change your name in Power Query. Go to the transform data. Go to the transform data. And maintain the same name, employee master. Here you can see the employee ID. I double click on this employee ID and I copy this name, Control C. I'm copying that name. And which table it's available? I think it's table invoice trends. In invoice trends, invoice. And I'll go here and I paste the same heading here. This is method number 1. So second method. First method you can change it in the source, but I don't recommend it. Then the connection, there will be a problem. So I'm changing the column names here. In Power Query, I'm changing the column name. This is one second method. One more method is also available. We'll see that. And I close and apply. So I'll close and apply here. Yes, it's loading to Power BI. Only one change we have made is in the invoice. Now you can see it has changed here. Will refresh. Just I am refreshing it. Maybe I'll go and come again. It's taking some time, maybe. Or I will do one more thing. Manage relationship, auto detect. I'm clicking on auto detect. It is saying found one new relationship which you have added to the semantic model. So now we are detecting it. Actually, it will happen. It takes much time. So manually I am detecting it. Go to the manage relationship. It should have connected, but it's taking some time to connect. That's why what I did is I gone to the manage relationship, auto detect. Since it's taking some time, I clicked on the auto detect. Then I think it's detected. Now it's connected. It will connect. Since it's taking some time, that's why I manually auto detected it. This is method number 2. Either rename that column and connect it. But another method. Let me delete this relationship now. Right click. Delete the relationship. I don't want to change the column heading. Column heading should be as it is. Let me go back to Power Query again. I'll go back to the Power Query. Invoice trends. Right click and I go to the invoice table. I make a right click and go to edit query. Let it be as it is. emp ID. I don't want to change my data source. I don't want to change the headings of the columns. Let it be emp ID. Let it be as it is. Let it be as it is. I don't want to change the column headings, because column heading should not get disturbed, because based on the column heading you would have did some other activity. You would have written some formulas. You have written some functions. I don't want to disturb it. So now how do we connect this? Once again, three methods to do this. Three sub methods to do this. Method number one. This employee ID should be connected with this emp ID, or emp ID should be connected with the employee ID. Both are same. So what we do, very simple. Drag this, click on this emp ID, drag it and drop it to this emp ID. I'm not comfortable. My mouse is not working properly. Unknowingly, knowingly, I have just connected with the employee name. No problem. We have a second chance also. If I unknowingly placed it at instead of employee ID, I placed it at employee name. No problem. It will give you one more chance here. It opens a dialog box and it shows there is no relationship between the table. So you didn't select it properly. Now we have an option to select it. Emp ID. I select emp ID and emp ID here. Employee ID here. So second chance to connect it. Many to one relationship. Cross filter. What is that cross filter? Suppose I am filtering an employee ID here. Employee ID should filter. If I filter the employee ID, it should filter the employee ID in the invoice table, as well as it should filter the employee ID in the employee. Both sides it should get filtered. So then we can go for both. But I don't recommend it, because if I filter this employee ID, I don't want this table should get filtered. So better if I filter this, only this table should get filtered. So I will go with single filter now and make a relationship active. Yes, the relationship is active. It should be active. Say save the changes. Yes. Now the relationship is created. Relationship, first method. We have another two methods to create a relationship also. Another two methods. Yes.
Has any one of your card number is 81251?
Okay. Right. Second method to create a relationship. Right click and I delete it and recreate it again. Or you can delete some other relationship and do it also. Second method, I'm not comfortable in dragging and dropping. Here I have only 9 tables. This is okay. Suppose I have 20 tables. I have to connect the second table with the 19th table. I have to drag and drop, which is very complicated. Second method. Go to Home tab. Manage relationship. Go to Home tab. Manage relationship. New relationship. Home tab. Manage relationship. New relationship. And which two tables you want to connect from? First table is employee master. Or you can select the invoice, trans invoice first also. That's your wish. Second table is. Now, first table I selected employee master. Second table I selected invoice. And which is a common column? Emp ID, employee ID. Same screen appears here. Same screen. Save it. Yes. Second method. One more method. Still you are not okay with this. Still we are not convinced with this method. Do you have any other methods? Yes. I have hundreds of table. I want to connect a third table with some other table. I know which two table has to be connected. So now delete it. I'm deleting and recreating. Third method. There is a plus symbol available here on this data model. You can see there is a plus symbol available here. New layout. Click on new layout. And which two table I want to connect? I want to connect the employee master. Drag the employee master here and drag the invoice table here. Have only these two table. So I want to connect this table and this table. Have only the two table. Now connect it. Drag and drop. Now drag and drop it. Extension of the first method. Just drag and drop. Save. If I created a connection here, when you go to that previous all table layout, here also you can see it's connected. So just we are bringing two table very near and we are connecting it. This is the third method. Open a new layout. After layout, after connecting it, now you can even delete this layout also. Nothing will happen here. Right click and delete. There is a into mark here. Delete. Still your relationship will be there. Okay. Third method to create a relationship. First method, the normal all table drag and drop. Second method, go to the manage relationship and select the two table and select the two column. Third method is create a layout and add the two column and create a relationship. Okay. Done. Assume that I want to create a report. For example, I want to know, let us take something, payment method wise, maybe cash payment, check payment. Payment method wise, I want to count how many invoices are there. Or I want to know region wise, what is the count of invoice number. Each region, what is the count of invoice number. The region name is available here. But invoice number is available in some other table like invoice table, we have the invoice, but it's not connected straight away. The region is connected with geographic data. Geographic data is connected with customer data. Customer data is connected with the invoice. Yes, you can create a report. Directly, indirectly, it's connected. Also, you can create any sorts of report you can create it because all the tables are directly, indirectly connected. Let us create a report and check also. Okay. You can create a report, it will give you the wrong output.
But we can leave it on.
There is no connection, leave it. It doesn't disturb your source data. We are going to create a separate report based on it, you can leave it. Okay? Done? Clear? I hope you know how to bring your company font into Power BI report also, right? You learned in the basics. Alright? Are you aware of it? Your company Daimler font. CS. You know how to get it to your Power BI. Okay. I will show you that. I will show you. Okay. Before that, let us insert a logo because there is a small change here. In old version, you can, if you want to insert your company logo, it's very simple. Just go to insert and you can insert the logo. But latest version, you have a small change here in inserting your image and inserting your logo. Let us go to the insert tab. Let us go to the insert tab. And if you are using the very old version, maybe 4 or even just 3 or 4 months old, I don't know whether September, October, I think straight away click on insert image and image will get inserted in the older version. Older means, I'm not saying very older, just 4 or 5 months before.
Also the option is available.
Insert image, but we have a different option here. Insert image. So I click on insert image. In old version, what will happen is it straight away it will ask you to browse and select the image. But here, you cannot do that. You have to select that image. After selecting the image here, right side, format image. There is a format image. Under the format image, go to styles. Under styles, image. Under image, you can get 3 types of image. One is you can upload an image, enter a URL image, enter select from data. What is a select from data? Suppose I am using a slicer. I am selecting a particular one. Based on that selection, I think image should get changed automatically. So that is select from data. That also you can do it. Upload an image. Select from data, we will explore it in another few minutes. upload image. First we'll try with upload image, browse, click on browse, and if you have your company logo, you can insert your company logo here. So I'm going to the logo here, I'm inserting your company logo. Yes, the logo was inserted. You place it on the top right, correct? Normally where you will place your logos? Top left. Or I don't have your logo. I didn't download the logo. Logo is still available in online. For example, I don't know whether it's a picture. Is it a picture? Okay, if you have the picture, assume this is a picture. I didn't download that logo. The logo is still available in online. So assume that my picture, your Daimler truck, this logo is available in online. I don't know whether this is a picture or the entire screen is a picture. I don't know that, but still I'm trying this. Right click on the picture. There is an option called as copy image link. Copy image link. I don't want to download the data and get the picture. Right click, copy image link. Copy image link. Now go to Power BI. Instead of upload image, make it as enter URL and paste that URL here. You have to paste that URL here. So I pasted that URL instead of downloading that image. So just you can copy and paste that URL also. This is a new feature which we cannot do it in the older version. Older version, you have to download the image and you have to insert the image in older version. No other go. Here, no need for downloading. You can enter the URL also. The data, I will tell you how to use the data. That's a different method. We'll see how to do that. Okay, this is not available in early version. September, sir, it's available. And that's what it is. September, you can just insert the image. I think October, November only they have updated this feature. Okay, so I got the URL. From URL, I have inserted your company logo through a URL, not through an image. I got the URL from your company website only. This one. It will get changed. It will get updated. Just open that website. Right click on that image. There is an option called as copy image link. Copy image link. You are using H only, right? You are using Chrome. Chrome, it is copy. So I am a Microsoft person. I prefer to use Edge. Open, some people are told we are using Edge to download Chrome, sir. That's the only reason they are using Microsoft Edge. Understood, but still. I should not say that. That's why I'm using Edge. Okay. And about very fastly, we'll have a recap of your how to bring your company templates and maybe the font. I want to bring your company font. Anyway, I think we should have covered this in this basics of Excel, but still I will have a short recap of it. Very fastly we'll do it. If you have any question, you can ask me. I can repeat it multiple times also. So I want to bring your company font here. So if you want a standard font throughout your Power BI, for example, I'm going to insert a text box. When I insert a text box and click inside a text box, it's showing some font like CAGO UI. If you want to change the font, you can change the font here, Arial or whatever the font. If your font is available here, very simple. You can select the font and you can do it. But even I don't recommend it. Every time I cannot go here and select the font. Or when I insert any visual, I'm inserting a card, I'm inserting a pie chart, I'm inserting a column chart. Every time I cannot go and change a particular font. For this, I want a template for this. Okay. First, we will create a template. Then we will bring your company logo, company font into the template. Okay.
But why this again we have to repeat? Because in the basically
Asked to recap it.
that is fine. But in every sheet, every page we have to.
No, not do it. Then just import it. If you already did it, then go here. Go here. You have to select browse themes and you have to select the themes. The themes you have to select it. The font theme which you have saved it. Now I will save it again and I will show it. Since a few people doesn't know it, maybe the older version, I will repeat it, sir. First I will save that and I will repeat. So let me go to this. First step is go to this view tab. Under view tab, click on the arrow mark. Under arrow mark, go to customize current theme. View tab, customize current theme. Here, even if you want to set a theme for your colors of your chart. For example, whenever you create a chart, first chart will be in light blue, second chart dark blue, third chart in orange color, then purple. So these are all the colors of your chart. Suppose if your company template, you have a particular colors. All five, my first bar chart should be in a separate color. Second bar chart should be a line chart or a pie chart or whatever. First chart will be in this, second will be like this, third will be like this. If you want to change, you can change it here. Suppose whenever I insert a chart, my first chart should not have the blue. I want some other color for it. Second chart should have some other color for it. I think you know all the color are all mixture of RGB. If you know that RGB code, you can give the RGB code also here. RGB code. Similarly, if you are using a conditional formatting, negative values, what is the color? Positive values, what is the color? Neutral value, what is the color? And this maximum, minimum, what is the color? But the reason I came here is not to set the colors. Set the text. Go to text, general, font family. Try to change some font. If you have your company font here, very simple. Straight away you can select your company font, you can apply it. But unfortunately, you don't have your company font here. That's the reason we are going to do another 2 steps. If you have your company font visible here, very simple, select that font and apply the font and straight away you can use it. But unfortunately, your company font is not there. So that's the reason I'm selecting some other Arial. Try to put some other Arial, Calibri, Cambria, any font, Times New Roman, some font. Change some font. You should not leave as it is. Change some font. If it is DIN, don't leave it as it is. Make it as Arial. Some other font. Card and KPI, Arial. Tab header, Arial. All the 4 areas. All the 4. For a general, for a title, for a card KPI, for a tab headers, everything, change your font family. Don't change the font size and font color. Because font size and font color may vary to visual. One visual, the font color will be lower. One visual, the font color can be higher also. So don't change it. Color also may change. So don't do that. So only the font family for all the 4. General, title, card KPI, tab header. All the 4 change it to a particular font family. Any particular, your wish. Not required, different also. To identify it, I am giving same name. You can give different name also. Different font also. Apply. So I applied it. So now what will happen is, whenever I insert any visual, by default that visual in an Arial font. But I don't want it. I want your company font. Second step. Go to this more button again. Save current theme. Save current theme. You have to save this theme. Save the current theme. What is the name of the theme? You can give your own names here. For example, let me give your own name. Daimler font theme. So I'm giving some name, Daimler font. You can give your own preferred name here, your wish. And it will be saved as a JSON file, Java file. Yes, it will be saved as a Java file. Don't worry. It will be saved as a Java file. JSON. Save. I have saved it. Then, third step. First step, I repeat the first step, select it and go to the customize current theme. And we have gone to the text and we have selected all the text into a particular font or any font. After that, we have saved it. Go to the arrow mark and we clicked on the save current theme. Yes, it was saved. Third step, you have saved that font themes. Go to that folder where we have saved that font themes. I think this is the folder where I saved it, JSON, Java file. Right click on that file, which we have saved it. It looks like a notepad file, no problem. Right click on the file, edit in notepad. Or if you are using old version of Windows, open with notepad, edit in notepad. Right click, open with notepad or edit in notepad. Any one of this. Open with notepad or edit in notepad. Your wish. So right click, edit notepad. Wherever you are finding that font which you have changed, I have given Arial. Wherever the Arial is available, double click on that Arial font and replace it with your company font. What is your company font name? Can you? Daimler space CS. Okay. So you change it, but I cannot change that since I don't have that font. I don't have a rights to use this font, so I'm not going to do that. I will select some other font. Maybe the Aptos is the font which I like, which is not available in Power BI also. So I'll double click it and I change to APTOS. Aptos. 4 areas you have to change it. Here also Aptos, or I'll copy and paste. Control C. Wherever Arial, I paste it here. Wherever Arial, I paste it here. Okay. You have to put your company font, Daimler CS, Daimler CS, Daimler space CS. Don't put single quotes, double quotes, nothing. Instead of that Arial, you have to replace it with Daimler CS font. That's all. This is the third step. Next one is the final step. Save and close this notepad. Control S, save it and close this notepad. Control S and I close this notepad. I am closing this notepad. Last and final step is, we have created a template, we have saved the template, we have modified the template into your font. Last step is, click here, themes. Browse for themes. Browse for themes. Select the theme which we have saved just now. Daimler font is the theme which I saved it. Open it. Yes, it will say file added successfully. Yes, file successfully added. Got it. Now let me insert a text box or insert any visual. I will insert a text box. Insert text box. Click inside the text box. You can see your company font would have been arrived here. You will get your company font. And now change is your font. 1 minute. Have you given the right spelling? I will go. I'm just giving a small title. Let me put it on the top of my slide. I'll come. Using the 3 dot, you can drag and drop and you can place the title wherever you want. I'm placing the title at the right side of the page. Right click, edit in notepad.
You can go to the
Okay, before the break, we'll see one visual. Right. We are going to insert some visual. Unfortunately, suppose I want to display some value. Old version. I'm not saying very old version, maybe 3 or 4 months before. We had an option called as to display a value. Basic Power BI was attended, you can tell me to display a value. The best visual is card. Unfortunately, card is not available. Can you find that card? That card is not available. Another card with Thunderbolt. There is a card with Thunderbolt is available. Old one, the card which we are used in basics of Power BI, it's not available. But can I use that card now? Yes, you can use the card. And what is this Thunderbolt card? I will explain both. First, I want to get that old one card. How can I get it? And gradually, they are going to remove this card. That card retired as soon as possible. That's the reason they have hidden it. They are trying to promote this new card. That is card with a Thunderbolt. But where is that old card? The old card is still there. Where is that old card is? Go to the 3 dot here. Go to the 3 dot. Restore default visuals. Click on restore default visuals. This one. Click on the 3 dot. Click on the 3 dot and go to restore default visuals. So let me do that. Yes. Now it's asking you are about to restore all the unpinned default visual to the visualization pane. Any unpinned visual will not get affected. No problem. Just to say okay. Now you would have got that card. This one is the card which we would have used it on our training session. Correct? But let us see how we can use this old one and what is the purpose of using this latest one. We'll see both. We'll see both. Then if possible, we can remove this old card also and started using the new card. We will see both. We'll see both. First, before that, so I'm going to use the card to display my total revenue. Let me try whether there is a column called as total revenue. There are 9 tables available. How can I find there is a total revenue? I cannot go to every column and find it. Go to the search box and type TOT. Unfortunately, there is no column called as total revenue. So, when I go to the table called as invoice trans, under the invoice trans, there is a column called as invoice cost and there is a column called as quantity. I want to multiply cost with the quantity and I want to bring the total revenue here. I want to bring the revenue here. What is my revenue? Could you tell me how can I multiply 2 columns? What is the easiest and simplest method to add a column or multiply a column? Easiest method. 2 methods, measures will come to that. The simplest and easiest way, I will tell you what is the purpose of using the measure or when we can use the measure and DAX. Before that, I think we will have learned this in basics of Excel. It's Power BI itself. Right click on this invoice trans, go to the edit query To write a formula or function, I recommended in basic of Power BI itself. Don't use Excel for writing the formulas and functions. Even any formulas and function, lookup or anything, try to do it in Power Query itself. I want to multiply the quantity into invoice cost and I want to get the output. You know, to write a formula in Power Query, we have two tabs. One tab is transform, another tab is add. Could you tell me what is the difference between transform formula, add formula? What is the difference? Add will create a new column. Perfect. Change will happen in the existing column itself. Add will add it on a new column. Here I have to go for add because I don't want to disturb this quantity and total cost. It should be there. So because I need the quantity and the invoice cost, I cannot remove that. I want an extra column here. I want this quantity and invoice cost multiplied. I want an extra column there. Extra column. Yes. Then go to add columns. Under add columns, standard, a custom column also you can do it. But standard, straight away there is an option available. Standard, multiply. So go to add columns. Go to that standard. Under standard, you can go for this multiply. So first select the two columns. You should have selected two columns. Would have gone to add column, standard, multiply. That's it. Now you would have got an extra column here. The column is multiplication of these two columns. Quantity into invoice cost. We got the total here. Now let us double click and rename this column name. Let us give a name as revenue. Okay. This is the simplest and easiest method to create a formula. Easiest method and simplest method. I cannot say this is the best method. Easiest method. Best method, we'll see it in another few minutes. So we have created a column called as revenue, where it is showing quantity into invoice cost. Now go to Home tab, close and apply. Home tab, close and apply. It's loading to Power BI. You can notice in invoice trans table, there will be a column name called as revenue. You can see there is a column called as revenue. Okay. Let us insert the card. Click on this card, 1, 2, 3, not Thunderbolt, not 1, 2, 3 with Thunderbolt. 1, 2, 3 Thunderbolt I will explain, because 1, 2, 3 Thunderbolt you got to do some activity. Before that we'll explore this, then we'll come to that new card, Thunderbolt card, we'll come to that. Now I'm using the older one, the old card. So let me click on this card and let us drag the revenue into the field area. Revenue into the field area. So it will show you the revenue here, 479.54 millions. Okay. But for the break, we'll finish this. Hope all are getting the same output. 2.54 trillion. How can I convert this into an exact value? Tell me, how can I convert this into exact value? And I want to put a comma separator. I want to put a currency symbol. Currency symbol, there is a new feature in the latest version. 1 year old, that feature is not available. First, how can I convert this millions into exact value? Format. Then. Super. We can go to the search box. Go to the search box and type DIS. Go to the search box and type DIS. And change the display units as none. 47 crores 94 lakhs 51,090.50. Are you getting it? You are getting 2 crores. Yeah, why? I'll finish off this and any challenges? different total. அவருக்கு அதே ப்ராப்ளம் என்ன அதே டோட்டலா வேற டோட்டலா வாட் இஸ் த டோட்டல் 9 rupees lesser than 29 rupees we'll check பாக்க now I'll come on. And I want to put a comma separator is coming automatically, but sometimes I need a comma separator. I want the currency symbol to be displayed. This is a new feature in the latest one. If you attended the 1 year before, this feature is not available. Manually you have to do it. But the new feature is go to the general, select the card, general, under the general, data format. This data format is not available in the older version. Who has attended the session 8, 9 months, 10 months before, you didn't see this option. General, data format, sum of invoice number, what is the format you want? General, whole number, currency, percentage, scientific, custom. So let us go for currency. Yes, I'm getting that currency symbol. If you don't want the Indian currency symbol, you can change the other currency symbols here. Click on the currency, dollar, euro, or some other currencies also. And decimal places, I make it as 2. I want 2 decimal places. Okay. Unfortunately, we struggled a lot and we have created this. Unfortunately, I don't recommend this. கஷ்டப்பட்டு இவ்வளவு தூரம் பண்ணிட்டு I am not recommending it. What is the another method or what is the simple? I told you this is the easiest and simplest method, not the best or right method. There is one more method. We'll see that. Save your files. Maybe 2 people are getting a problem. We'll see that. We'll address that. Save the file. We'll have a short break. After the break, we'll come and we'll create some other features. We'll see some new visuals also. I'm stopping the recording. Just remind me to start the recording after. I'm not stopping. Now, the last one, what we did is we created a formula in Power Query. There are several methods to create a formula. You can create a formula in Power Query, or normally what we do is we can create a formula in Excel also. When you go to this, open this file called as business transaction. Here also I can go to that particular table, invoice trans, and I can very simply multiply the quantity and the invoice cost, and I can get the output here. But why I didn't recommend to do it in Excel is, the reason is this table, it's not too large, but it's having more than 9,000 rows. But when I go further, you can see the rows may accumulate. It may be million, billion, trillions. Excel will not handle a very big data. 1 lakh rows itself, Excel will not handle. Excel will rotate. If it just to put a sorting, if it just to put a filtering also, Excel will not handle it. So that's why we don't recommend to do it in Excel. We recommended to do it in Power Query. That's the first thing. But here, once again, in Power Query, before the break, I told you I don't recommend this feature. The reason is, it's giving the right output, it's working fine, it's very easier, that is perfect. But why I don't recommend it is, assume this revenue, I am going to use it more frequently. I am going to use it, suppose I am going to create 10 pages of report. In 10 pages, each page I may have 4 or 5 visuals. And at least in every visual, every page, 4 or 5 visuals, I am going to use this total revenue more frequently. More frequently I am going to use this. And my data will accumulate. Here only 9,000 rows, but tomorrow it may be million, billion, trillions of rows. So whenever I am using this revenue on my visual, any visual, suppose I created some 4 or 5 visuals here. All the 4 or 5 visual I used this total revenue. So every time what will happen is, it will multiply the invoice cost into quantity and it will give you the revenue. Every time whenever I load the visual here, I go to the next page, another 5 visuals, next page, another 5 visuals, it will take some time. If your data model is too large, assume I am going to use the revenue at only one time in only one visual, my data model will not increase, my data model will be consistent. Furthermore, my data will not get increased. Yes, then we can go for this feature. Multiply the quantity into rate and find the output. But My data model is going to increase, and I'm going to use this visual much frequently in my reports. So the best method or simplest method is what we are going to now is we are going to create a measure. That's the reason for this measure. Otherwise, normal formula function, I recommend simple multiply, add, divide. I want to measure. The reason for measure is my data model is too large. I want to reduce the size of it and I want to work very faster. I'm going to use multiple visuals. That's the reason we are going to use a measure. I don't know whether you have used it in Excel. In pivot table, there is a field called as calculated field. Have you ever used this in Excel? What is the purpose of the calculated field is without creating a new column, without disturbing your source data, virtually it will create a column. Virtually it will calculate something and it will create a column in Excel pivot. Same like we are going to create a measure. But unfortunately, measure, you cannot just say quantity into invoice cost. You cannot just say that. You have to use some DAX inside it. You cannot just say this plus this. You have to use some DAX inside it. Straight away you cannot use this. In Excel also, when you use some formulas and function, we will go with FX, correct? Same thing. In Power BI, we are going to use DAX. What is the DAX? DAX means data, analysis, expression. The short form of this is DAX. Let us start with the simple DAX and we'll see the other part of the DAX. Any question, any query, stop me, ask me there itself. In the basics of Power BI, we have never used any formulas and function. We have just multiplied, add, divide. Through the menus we did it. First time we are going to use some functions or formula. We should not call it as functions or formulas. Since Excel we can call it as functions or formulas. Here you should call it as DAX. So equivalent to calculated field is measure, equivalent to FX is DAX. Because in a measure, you cannot just multiply or just add a two column. Through the DAX only you can add or multiply or divide. Okay. So I have two types of DAX function. Now what we want to do is, we want to multiply this invoice cost with the quantity. Invoice cost has to be multiplied with the quantity and we should get an extra one called as total revenue. That's the one which we are going to do. For this, we have two functions, two DAX available. I will explain two DAX. You tell me which is the best one. For example, I have something like quantity. I have cost. Okay. Assume I have something like this 5, 10, 15. These are all quantity. Then I have the cost 10, 20, 30, something like this. Okay, so we have one DAX called as sum, which is commonly used. Even you can use it in Excel also. Sum. Now I am going to write a DAX here. Sum of quantity into sum of cost. Because I want to multiply the quantity and I want to multiply. You cannot just say quantity into cost. You have to use some DAX. So I am using the DAX called as sum of quantity into sum of cost. What it will do is, first it will find out the sum of quantity. Overall sum of quantity. Then it will find you the sum of cost. Finally, it will multiply it. Equal to 30 into this 60, you will get 1800. This will be the output if I am using the sum function. But there is one more function, one more DAX. I should not use the feature called as function. You should call it as DAX. Gradually, I will change that. So we have one more DAX available. I am going to use the same formula or same example. Let us take, there is another function, sum X. What is this sum X will do is, first it will multiply each and every row. Quantity into cost. It will multiply each and every row. Finally, it will find you the total. You can see a smaller data, we are getting a very big change. For very small data, I am getting, this is giving 700, this is giving 8,800. Which one is correct? Second one is right. So we have to go for the second one. In Excel also we have an equivalent formula to this. I don't know whether you used it. Sum is sum actually. Equal to sum X, we have one more function available in Excel. Sum product. Very good. Superb. So there is a function called as sum product. Let me use that sum product. Sum product, for example, I'm using the sum product. I should get this output. Sum product of quantity, comma, cost. So even though I'm selecting it, it will multiply each and every row. At last, it will find the total. You should get 700. Yes, we are getting 700. So sum x and sum is equivalent. Sum product is equivalent. So we recommend to go with sum x. So first time we are going to use this sum x function, sum x DAX in my Power BI, and let us see whether we are getting the same output here. If we are getting same output as it is, so I recommend to use this, not the older one. Older one, as I told, if the data size is very small, if you are going to use it only once in your lifetime, you can go for it. If you are going to use multiple times, very big, then go for this measure. Step by step, let us do it. If you have any questions, doubts, queries, stop me, ask me there itself. So we are going to create a measure for the first time. Go to the home tab or go to the, you can go to the home tab now. Go to the home tab. Under home tab, you can see the home tab. There is an option called as new measures. So go to home tab and click on new measures. Gradually we'll see some 2 or 3 measures today. Tomorrow also we are going to explore multiple measures. So let us start with a simple one. Home tab, new measure. Click on that new measure. It will ask the name for that measure. What is the name for the measure? Unfortunately, when I created the measure, my cursor was under the customer info table and the measure is created under the customer info table. No problem at all. No problem at all. 100% it will give you the right output. But can I put this measure in a separate table or can I put this measure in a particular table? Yes, we can do that. We'll do it later. First, we'll create the measure. Don't worry about where it is residing. It can reside anywhere. It will give you the right output, but we can change the location also. We'll do that later. Now let us give a name for this measure. So it says measure. I will give a rename for this. Let us give some name called as total revenue. Because I cannot give revenue. Revenue is already, there is a column name called as revenue. So I cannot use it. So let us use something called as total revenue. No constraint for it. Space, special characters, anything you can do it. There is no restriction like you should not use the space, you should not use the special characters, nothing like that. You can give a name. It says 1 because it's in the row number 1. You can add, if you are writing a very big DAX, you can have 2 row, 3 row, bigger formula also. You can extend and you can write a, you can extend this and you can write a very big formula also here. Later we'll do that. Now we are in the row number 1. So don't see this 1. 1 is the row number, that's all. So equal to, total revenue is equal to, what is the DAX we are going to use here? Sum x. Sum x. Bracket open. You know all the DAX, all the formulas and function will start with equal to, with the form function name, open bracket, 2 inputs. Input number 1, table. Input number 2, expression. Table. From which table you are going to use it? I want to get, I think we have the quantity and invoice cost. Quantity and invoice cost is residing under the table called as invoice trans. So let me type it here. INV, invoice. I think the invoice trans table is displayed. Could you tell me how can I select this without typing it? Mouse key means you can make a click. Keyboard means you can press the tab key. Or mouse means you can just go here and make a click. That will be inserted here. Sum x, open bracket, invoice trans. That's a table name. Can I get the data from 2 different tables? Of course, we can get it. We'll do it in the next process. Now we are going to get it from 1 table, invoice trans, comma. Comma. What is the expression? What are we going to do? I want to multiply this invoice cost with the quantity. Invoice cost with the quantity. So let us get quantity QTY. When I type QTY, it automatically shows the column name prefixed with the table name. It will be prefixed with the table name. You can ask me why it's prefixed with the table name. Because the quantity can be anywhere. I can have a quantity in invoice table. I can add a quantity in a sales table. I can have a quantity in a purchase table, inventory table. Any table you can have the quantity. So it will represent along with the table name. No other go. You have to select it. It should come prefixed with the table name. So select the table name along with the column name, quantity into multiply it with invoice cost, INV cost. I'm selecting the column name called as invoice. Once again, it will prefix with your column name, sorry, table name. No other go. You have to select it. Close bracket. Open the bracket, close the bracket. That's it. To accept it, you have to press enter, but I'm not accepting. I'm waiting you to complete. If you are facing any challenges, ask me, I can repeat it. Or any challenges, call me, I'll come and solve it. I think this formula is not too complicated. It's very simple. I hope everyone can do this easily. Okay. Can I accept this? Enter. So I have accepted it. So there is a total revenue measures created. Now let me place the cursor on some empty area. Let us insert the same card. I'm going to insert the same card now. In this card, I will bring that measure. You can see measure. The icon for the measure will be different. There will be some calculator image. This indicates that's a measure. All the other things we don't see that image because that's all the columns available. This is a measure created. So this total revenue, drag the two and bring it to the field area. I'm dragging the total revenue and bringing it to the field area. 479.45 millions. Go to format, call out value, or go to the search box and type it, or go to the call out value and change the display units as none.
We can do the copy format also here, right?
Copy format, it's only for the background colors and formatting.
Change this.
Normally, format is only for the colors, background, and other part. Literally, you can see both are giving the same output. Correct? Sir, you got the right result or you have some problem? You got some 20 measures? Sum போட்டு அந்த இது போட்டீங்க டிஃப்ரெண்டான okay right done clear so out of this, as I told, what has happened here is, let me go to my data and check. For example, how can I check the data inside a Power BI itself? It's not required every time you have to go to Power Query or every time you have to go to Excel and check it. You can check the data in Power BI itself. The second button, table view. When I click on the table view, you can see the customer table. It's like this. There is no extra column called as total revenue. There is no column at all available. Actually, when I go to the customer info, under the customer info only I have created this measure called as total revenue. But there is no column called as total revenue. There is no column. It's hidden. It's virtually created. But when I go to the invoice trans table, there is an extra column called as revenue. This is a column which we have created through the Power Query. Quantity and invoice cost, we multiplied and we got it. So once again, your size will get increased and data model will get increased when you're adding more rows and columns here. So that's the reason we used this measure. Virtually, it will calculate your total and it will work very faster. The fastest way of getting the output, and file size also will be very lesser if you are using this measure. Okay. Now, we don't want this. I'll come back to my report view. I don't want this measure. Sorry, I don't want this column which we have created. So let us delete this card. We don't want it. So just to check whether it's working fine. Even though I'm using a normal formula, whenever you use the measure, I'm getting the same output. So we recommend to go with the measure. And let us delete that column also. This column has to be deleted. I don't want the column. Yes. Go to the 3 dot next to the columns. You can see there is a column. Don't delete your measure. Don't delete the measure. There is a calculator image. Don't do that. So I deleted the card. And or you can delete this and delete the card also. But the card may throw an error. So that's why I deleted the card first. Then I'm coming to this column. And I go to the 3 dot area here. Click on the 3 dot. And there is an option called as delete from model. I don't want this column further. So I delete this column. It's asking, are you sure you want to delete this revenue column? Yes, of course. Yes, I deleted it. Yes, that column was deleted. Okay. Now, all the decorative other things you can do it here, which we did it in the basics also. If you want, you can do that. But we are going to use a multi-card. We will see it in another few minutes. And this measure, now it's residing under the customer info table. As I told, it will give you the right output. But for my convenience, I don't want this total revenue to be under the customer info. Can I bring this total revenue below the invoice trans table so that it's easier for me? I have the invoice cost and quantity in the invoice trans table, and I want to bring this to the total revenue to this invoice trans table. I don't want it here. For my convenience, will it make any difference on the output? Not at all. Just for our convenience, we are moving it. How do we move this? Don't drag and drop. It may not work. Select the total revenue measure. Select the total revenue measure. Just click it. If I click, you should get a contextual tab called as measure tools. If you are not getting this contextual tab called as measure tool, that means you didn't select this column properly. You didn't select the measure properly. So select that measure. So if I select it, you will get that measure tools on the top. Don't go to the left hand side and make a tick or untick it. You have to click somewhere else in the middle here. Click it. Measure tools. Under measure tools, home table. It's saying in which table this measure is residing. Now the measure is residing under the customer info table. Let me click on the arrow mark and I move this to the invoice trans table. So I'm moving this to, now I don't want this table in the customer info. I want this to be in invoice trans. Yes. So the total revenue, now you can see it has moved from the customer info table to the invoice trans table. Still, it's giving the right output. Okay. Sir?
There is an auto for decimal places.
Hmm.
Nothing is changing over here.
Because I manually changed the, this is for all the visuals, sir. Manually I gone here, format, and I gone to the tabular. Here I changed the format as 2 decimal places. But what do you want to change?
So for this specific case, we have made it to
Hmm.
2 decimal. On the measure, if you make it into 0 decimal, what will happen?
It will show you.
In case it's not working, it's still showing decimals.
Enter. Type 2 and press enter. Accept. I'm getting. Global. அங்க ஆட்டோன்னு மாத்திட்டு பண்ணுங்க. Okay. Now the real challenge is not a challenge. Real power of this is at least to multiply the invoice cost and quantity. We have a way to do it. We can go to Power Query and multiply it. We can go to Excel and multiply it. Now the challenge is, let us open the file called as product master. I'll go to the table called as product master. Under the product master, I have some columns: category ID, description, discontinued, product ID, product name, reorder level, unit cost, unit of measures, unit in stock, unit in order. We have a column called as unit cost. For every product, we have fixed some unit cost. We have fixed it in the master. We have fixed it. But while making an invoice, same product, I would have increased the cost. For one transaction, I would have increased the cost. One transaction, I would have decreased. I would have given a discount. I would have decreased the cost. So the cost may vary from invoice to invoice, customer to customer, product to product also. Now what are we going to do is, we are going to multiply the quantity, not with the invoice cost. We are going to multiply the quantity with the unit cost. So this is my quantity. This is my, originally I have fixed the cost. This is my target cost. I have fixed some target for this. Each product, this should be the cost. We have fixed it. But while making an invoice, we are given a different cost. That this is my actual cost. This is actual cost. But I have fixed some cost. Now we are going to multiply the quantity with the invoice. One table, one column to another table, another column. Which is literally, manually, I can say impossible. You cannot do it in Excel. You cannot do it in Power Query. How can I do this? Because every product, the cost may vary. Invoice to invoice, same product, invoice to invoice also, cost may vary. But Power BI will help us. Same measure. We are going to use the same measure. So let us create the second measure now. Before creating the measure, I place the cursor on invoice trans itself because I need this measure to be created in the invoice trans. I created in customer info, then I'm moving it here. Instead, I place the cursor and create it here itself so that it's easier for me to understand. Or you can create it anywhere, it will give you the right output. For a change, I want to make a cursor here, invoice trans. Now we are going to create a measure. So go to the home tab again. Or there is, when you place the cursor on the table, there is one more method, table tools. Under table tools also, you can see the new measure will be available. So go to the table tools. Under the table tools, there is a new measure available here. Or go to the home tab, new measure. Both are same, both are same. So let us click on new measure now. And I want to give a name, maybe this is my target revenue. The total revenue is my actual revenue. So I'm going to give something like target revenue. Target revenue. You know the function is SumX. Open bracket. What is the table name? Unfortunately, I'm going to get it from two tables. First, let us give the first table. That's an invoice table. Invoice trans, correct. Invoice trans table, comma, quantity. Here is the problem or here is the challenge for us. I want to multiply into with what? I want to multiply with the invoice cost which is available in the same table. Very easily you can type the invoice cost. But I want to multiply with the column called as unit cost which is in the product master. So I'm trying to type this unit cost here. Unfortunately, it's not on the list. Or I will type the table name, product master, PROD. That's also not available on the list. I'm not able to get it. This product is some other multiplication product. I'm not able to get that product name also here. So how can I multiply a column which is available in another table to this table? Very simple. We have one more tax available called as related. RELATED, related. All the tables are related. Morning only we have created a relationship between the tables, related. If I type related, it will show you all the column names, all the column names available, which is related to this table. Now I can find that product master. Under product master, the unit cost. It's available here. So this is the power or advantage of using a measure or a tax. We can multiply, we can add one column from one table to another column in another table, which is literally manually impossible, but we are using it here. Close one bracket for that related, close bracket for that SumX. Two bracket has to be closed. Now press enter and accept it and insert a card and display it. I want you to try that. Insert a card and display what is the target revenues. Tell me whether my total revenue is more than the target or less than the target. You have to tell me that. Total revenue is lesser than the target. So we have achieved the target. Very good. How much? Any idea? What is the target revenue? 47 crores.
Target revenue is 45 crores.
45 crores.
Total revenue is 47 crores, 90%.
Approximately 2 crores. Done? Any challenges, any questions, any queries, doubts? You have to do so many steps. price cost and same invoice number, map the invoice number and bring the invoice cost and multiply with the quantity. We have to put a lookup and we have to bring it here and we have to find it. That's a way to manually calculate.
Because it is not showing data also here. How it is doing. How do they rely on this data?
Other things you cannot depend on the Americans, sir, but this you can depend. 60% are Indians there. இல்லை ஒர்க் ஆகும் செக் பண்ணு வேணா நீங்கள் எக்ஸலில் போய் தான் யூ ஹேவ் டு மல்டிப்ளை அண்ட் யூ ஹேவ் டு செக்.
Then we can see and believe.
Visual, we will put some visuals and we'll check. We will put some visuals and we'll check that. Tablesலாம் போட்டு பார்த்தோம். Some visuals will insert where we can find the total.
Because I too had a also doubt there. So I verified many times. Then I
It should work, but we'll check. Now you are okay with some product. You will believe this also in another future. Yes, even Excel totally no one has believed early days. Still they will use a calculator. Excel our output vandalum, they will put it in a calculator and check whether both are correct. Now we thrown out the calculator, we are believing on Excel. Like this, you will believe it in another few minutes or by today evening. Yes, let me insert a card again. I press the enter and I place the cursor on some empty area. Insert a card, the plain old card. I place and I bring the total revenue, target revenue into the field area. 452 millions. Format. Call out value. Display units. None. As you are rightly told, 45 crores, 21 lakhs, 14,850. Format, you can put comma separators, currency symbols, if you want, you can add it. Now, I want you to do this. I want you to create a measure. Create a measure. The measure name is, let us say the measure name is profit margin. What is the formula? Very simple. Total revenue minus target revenue. After this, insert a card. Display the total revenue. Display the profit margin. And tell me what is the profit margin. I want you to try this. Yes, please. Create a measure called as profit margin. Total revenue minus target revenue. Then display it in a card and tell me what is the total profit margin. I think of course it should be positive. So what is the value? Approximately more than 1 crores. Anyone got it? Tell me the crore. 73 lakhs. 36. Super. Crore. 73. 73 lakhs. 36,000. 73 lakhs. 2 crores. Yeah. This is as per your system. ID permission. Not only changing power, we change the entire thing. I don't know what is the reason behind this. Not get that amount. Ask them to, maybe unknowingly also they will update it. Ask them to change it. If there is a particular reason,
Displaying.
you are all getting the comma separately correctly, right? No, you are as per you get. Then you are all lakhs, 1, 2, 3 comma. No seconds.
Excuse me.
Say 1,000 separate.
And you have to select the 1,000. Armor with 1,000 separately enabled. You have to enable it.
I'll not create a separate measure for revenue since you already had the summation. Max is not taking that. So total revenue calculation appears here.
Questions? Into invoice part.
Because we already had the table.
That's not right. Because it will close like that. Now subtract the target.
Some excel.
Sure, you cannot just multiply this tag. There should be some mix. If some mix it will not, we can use it.
If there's already a measure, na?
Some tax. Or you can use some tax. Without tax, measure will not be. They don't even just multiply dividend. Okay. I hope most of you did it. Let me try it here. I'm going to insert a measure. Go to Home tab, new measure. The measure name is profit margin. So let us give a name for this measure. So measure name is profit margin. You know all the measure will work based on some DAX. But fortunately, we have already created a measure with the DAX. It's already available with the DAX. So no need for recreating it again. So just we can straight away subtract it. Total revenue minus the target revenue. That's very simple. So no need for putting a sum x again because already this total revenue is having a sum x. Target revenue is having a sum x. So no need for redoing it again. So let me add this profit margin. Accept it. Enter. Let us insert a card again. I'll put the card here. And let us bring the, unfortunately I didn't select that invoice trans table and I did it in the profit margin table itself. But okay, we can move it later or it can be in the same table also, no problem. So let us bring the profit margin into the field area. Yes. 2.73 millions. Go to format, call out value, display units, none. So 2 crore 73 lakhs 36,240.50. And in the basic Power BI itself, I told you the formatting, other part you do it, and this alignment and the formatting is also very vital. I recommended when you present it, it's always better to put a background or a shadow for that visual. Select the visual, general, select one card, go to general, go to effect, FFECTS, effects, shadow. I'm putting a shadow for one visual. Second visual also I am going to format, general. When I put a shadow only, I can understand whether my sizing and formatting, everything is correct or not. Effects, shadow. Now only I am able to recognize that one card is a bigger, height is very larger, another card height is very smaller. Third card, and I'll put the shadow for this. So you can see everything is not on a proper order. So bring everything in a proper order here. Height and width. I reduce the height of this. Reducing the height for this to have a better view. Color, background, other part you can do that. Yes. Now it looks much better.
Selecting all also it's not working.
Select all. Which one? Height. Height manually. It will suggest you which is a better height. If I move this, it will show you that red. This is a, you can see a red line will have. This is the right height. That's all. Arranging you can arrange. For example, one is like this, another one is like this. So I want everything to be aligned in a proper order. One has a very big gap, another one is having a small gap. Alignment. Select all the three, holding the control key or shift key. Format, align, align top, so that all the top will be in the same position. Align, distribute horizontally, so that we will have an even space horizontally. Between two cards, we will have an even space. Between three cards, we will have an even space. Align, I selected align top, distribute very horizontally. Even gap between the visuals. Because you have written a very big formula and functions or so many things on the background, no one will read it. They will see only the screen. Your screen should be presentable. So alignment is very vital here. Please align it properly. Whatever the visual you insert, try to align it properly. Yes. Yes.
So now we have created two measures and we just what if I want to find this sum of product or between two tables that are not connected. You know,
If it is connected only, we can relate and connect it. But two tables, how do you find which total, which has to be multiplied with what?
there's no way at all.
Even you cannot write a lookup, you cannot do anything. Even if you write a lookup also, based on which column you will get the output.
Yeah, I tried like that, but it didn't work.
You should have some common columns.
So should we create
You at least create a common column between it. Then only you have. If it is not connected, you cannot create a report, you cannot create a tax also. Yes. Now, let me go with the slicer. We'll see two slicers, new slicer and old slicer. But let us start with the old slicer, then we'll see the new slicer also. Where is that slicer? Place the cursor on some empty area. Row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth row. New card I'm going to explain. After we are going to do some other activity, then I will explain new card and new slicer also. Because before that we have to learn something. So, row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth row in my system. Fourth one, slicer. I don't know whether it may be in the same order, maybe fourth or third or based on the version, based on your screen size. Slicer. So I'll go to the build visual. Under build visual, in the fifth row, fourth one, I select a slicer. Empty area, I'm clicking on the slicer now. The slicer is inserted. This is a old slicer. There are some new slicers available. We'll see the new slicer also. Button slicer, text slicer. We'll explore it. I have inserted a slicer. In this slicer, let me go to the product category. I have some list of categories of products. Product category. In the table called as product category, we have a column called as category. Let us drag and bring the category to the field area. I'm bringing the category to the field area. Yes, there are some list of categories of product. Braking system, electrical, electronics, engine, fuel, suspension, transmission. So for example, let us select the braking system. Yes. I'm getting the total revenue for the braking system, target revenue for the braking system, profit margin. I think braking system is a loss. It's going 41 lakhs loss. Electrical and electronics, it's profit, 1 crore. Engine, it's profit, 28 lakhs. Suspension, profit. Transmission, profit. Only I think braking system, it's going under loss. So based on the selection, you can see the total revenue is changing, target revenue is changing, and the profit margin is also changing here based on your selection. Okay. Now I want you to try. If I select the braking system, let me take this profit margin card. If the profit margin is positive, I want to highlight it in a green. If it is a loss, negative. If it is a positive value, then I want a green color for this card. Background color or font color is your wish. If it is a negative, then I want to put a red. Can you try this? Just to try. If you are not able to get it, I will help you. Just to try. Do a conditional formatting for a card. I think this we would have did it in basic Power BI itself, but I want you to try. Background color or font color is your wish. Either you can put a background color for it, or you can put a font color also. That's up to you. If I select braking system, it should show red. Other than braking system, it should show green. That because that's all profit. Try and fail rather than failing to try. If you are not getting no worries, no issues, I will help you. But please try. You have 2 minutes. You want the solution? Positive is green, negative is red. That means if I select braking system, it should be red. Electrical, electronics, engine, suspension, transmission, it should be green because that's all positive. Profit. Loss is red, profit is green. Huh? Green, red, both. Super. Yes. Let me try this. Select the slicer. Select the card because we are going to do a formatting for this card. Before this, I will uncheck that slicer. It can be there, but for the time being, I am unchecking it or click on this eraser symbol, clear. So let us select the card. format your visual. If you want to give a background color, then go to general, FX. If you want to give a background color, go to general, FX, color. You can see a color next to the color, there is FX. This is for changing the background color for this card. If you want to change the font color, visual, call out value, go to visual, go to call out value, color, next to the color FX, go to FX. It says gradient. No, it's not gradient. We have to go for rules. Now the rules is minimum to 0. Correct. Minimum lowest to till 0. Till 0 is negative. Until 0. Red. Until 0 we are saying a red. New rules. Here it should be 0. From 0. Maximum. How can I get a maximum here? Remove that 0. If you remove the 0, it automatically turns into maximum here. And maximum, what's the color we prefer is, let us go for a green. More color, green. So I selected a green color. Selecting some green. Yes. Positive should have green, negative should have red. Minimum to 0 is red, 0 to maximum is green. Let me check that. Okay. Yes. Overall, it's green because it's profit. If I select braking system, it's a loss. Red. Electrical and electronics, it's a loss. Engine and fuel, sorry, profit. These are all profits, green. And braking system is a loss, so it's red. Select the card, format, call out value, color, FX. On the FX, rules, based on profit margin, minimum to 0 is red, 0 to max is green. Okay?
How we edit this again? The color.
Same thing. Go to the format and the color, you can see FX is. The next to FX, there is a eraser symbol for removing. Same FX is for editing. Okay. Then we have seen about a slicer. We have seen a old card. Let us see a new slicer and a new card also. First, let us see a new slicer. Card, we will see it in the later part. New slicer. This is one slicer. Okay, perfect. And I want to put another slicer. Maybe I want to put another card also. The new card and new slicer. We'll explore it. What is a new card and new slicer? There is some advantage in this new card and new slicer. For that, I want to use another visual also. We'll see one more visual and we'll go to that. Let me add another visual. I want to check actual versus plan. This is my actual. Total revenue is my actual. Plan is target revenue. We are more than the plan. So I want to represent it in a visual format instead of numbers. Place the cursor on some empty area. Place the cursor on some empty area. Build visual. Row number 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth row. From the last, the second one. Or from the starting, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one. From the last, the second one. From the left hand side, the fifth one. Gauge. Like a speedometer. Gauge. Let me place the cursor on some empty area. Click on the gauge. I selected the gauge. And I increase the height and width of the gauge. Now, in gauge, under the gauge, there is something like value, minimum value, maximum value, target value. Minimum and maximum, we'll see it in another few minutes. Minimum, no need to fix it. Maximum, we can fix that. We'll see that. There is two things, value and target value. You know which is the value? Value is actually my actual value. That is the total revenue. Bring the total revenue to the value area. Bring the total revenue to the value area. And the target revenue to the target value area. Since it's a target. Target revenue to the target value area. Yes. You can see a needle is appearing here. This needle is, so this is my target, 450 millions. So we have gone beyond the target. We can customize this visual. We can bring this target at the last and the gauge also at the last. We'll do it in another few minutes. But now we'll check that whether it's working fine. So it's 452 millions is my target. We achieved 479 millions. Let me select the braking system. Yes. My target is 51 millions, but we have achieved only 447 millions. Lesser than the target. If this gauge is going beyond the needle, that means we have achieved it. If it is less than the needle, that means we didn't achieve the target. So you can see based on my selection, it is changing here. So select the gauge. We have inserted a gauge. After inserting a gauge, we have dragged the total revenue into the value area and target revenue into the target area. Okay. We'll customize this. Now, this is fine. Once again, I don't like this 479.45 millions and 452 millions. So select the gauge and go to format. Select the gauge, format. I don't recommend to display the data label. I don't recommend this data. Data label is this one, this left hand side, the minimum and maximum value. I don't recommend. I don't want that actually. If you want, we can have it, but I don't recommend it. So I switch off the data label. Minimum, maximum is not required. I want to know whether we achieve the target or not. And then the target label, expand the target label and change the display units as none. Yes, now it says 45 crores, 21 lakhs, 14,850. Same like, scroll down, call out value. Call out value also make it as none. So both the target value and the actual value, I make it as none so that I am getting the exact value displayed. Exact value is displayed here. Actual versus target. So based on my selection, you can see it is changing. We'll furthermore customize this gauge. Because normally people prefers to put the gauge at the last somewhere else here. Because we are in a good speed, we have achieved the target. So we'll do that. Before that, I want you to try this. Same process, whatever you did it here. Wherever it's profit, we are getting a green. Wherever it's loss, we are getting a red. Same process, I want you to try this for this gauge color. This gauge color. If it is a profit, I want the gauge color should be green. If it is a loss, I want the gauge color should be red. At least try this. This gauge color. Gauge color, if it is a profit, it should be green. If it is a loss, the gauge color should be red. Just to try. Challenge, sir. And the background color or font color? The gradient make it as rules. Minimum to 0 is red. Add instead of minimum, make it as 0. Delete this maximum. Maximum. Any challenge, any questions, any doubts, don't hesitate. It and come and solve it. Basic doubt, silly doubt. All are green. No, braking system should be red. Got it. So the condition should be based on profit margin. That's a clue. Correct? It's not based on the total revenue or target revenue. It's based on the profit margin. Okay. Let me try this. Select the gauge. I'm selecting the gauge. Go to the format your visual color. Go to the format your visual color. One is the fill color. That's a gauge color. Second one is this target line color. I don't want the target line color should change. I want the gauge color should change. So let us go to the FX next to the fill color. Select this gauge. Go to format, visual, color, fill color, FX. Under FX, gradient. No, it's not gradient. It should be rules. And one more thing you should have changed here is, it is asking, this rule is based on the total revenue. No, this rule is not based on the total revenue. This rule is based on the profit margin. So let us click here. If you are able to find out the profit margin, I think profit margin should be somewhere else here. If you are not able to do it, no problem. Just type it here. PRO, profit margin will be available on the list. If you are able to find it, fine. If you are not able to find it, just go there and type it. Profit margin. Minimum to 0. Again, I'll put a red. New rules. 0 to max. Same 0 to max. It's green. Okay. So minimum to 0 is red. 0 to max is green. Let me try this. Okay. It's green. Let me select the braking system. It's red because it's a loss. Electrical, electronics, green. Engine and fuel, green. Suspension, green. Transmission, green. Except the braking system, all are greens. Done, clear? Say frequently, Power BI is easy to use, easy to learn, easy to forget also. Please practice it frequently. If you are not practicing, you will forget it very easily. Now, can I bring the gauge here? I don't normally, I think I have seen most of the visuals. People doesn't prefer to bring the gauge here. They want the gauge somewhere else here. That's your optional. If you want to bring the gauge here, the gauge is somewhere in the middle. To have better visual, I want to bring the gauge at the last here. Somewhere at the last. So let us create a measure now. So I want to create a measure. So place the cursor on any one of the table. Let me place the cursor on invoice trans table itself. Go to home tab. New measure. A simple measure I want to create now. New measure. This measure is to fix the maximum value for my gauge. It's automatically taking some maximum value, which I don't want. I want to fix a maximum value for the gauge. So let us create a name. Maybe the name, let us give a name for the measure. Max, this measure is to fix the max for that gauge. Max of gauge is equal to total revenue. I want to bring, if my total revenue is this, maybe 10 About 10 percentage, I want a maximum value. More 10 percentage more than my total revenue. So that my gauge will come at the last. So 10 total revenue into 0.10. That's a 10 percentage. 10 percentage of my total revenue. 1.10. If you want 20 percentage, you can say 1.20. I don't want to multiply 10, but I want 10 percentage more than the total revenue. 10 percentage more than the total. So 1.10 or 110 also. 1.10. Enter.
Condition. In this case, the total revenue is more. In some cases, the total revenue is less.
Then you have to go for if condition. I will tell you how to put the if. As of now, just we are doing it. Since our total revenue is more than our target, I am using this.
Like braking system, it will.
As of now, we'll try that. Okay. Now, let us try this. Place the cursor. Based on a condition also, we can fix it. Now, let us see how it's working. Place the cursor on this gauge. Now, go to the add data to your visual. Add data to your visual. Under this minimum value, maximum value. Let us bring that measure which we have created now, max of gauge. That measure I am bringing into the maximum value area. I am bringing into the maximum value area. Yes. Now my gauge is coming at the last here. This is optional. If you want, you can do that. So I have created a measure called as max of gauge, which is 10 percentage for my total revenue. You can go for a if condition also. Probably we'll try that later. And I drag that max of gauge to the maximum value area. So if I select it also, you can see the maximum value area. So it's lesser than my, you can see very easily whether we have achieved the target or not achieved the target. So my target is here, we have gone beyond the target. Our braking system, my target is here, we are nearing the target, we didn't achieve it. Somewhat near to my target. We created a measure. Create a measure. Home tab, new measure. Home tab, new measure. Then you have to create this measure. Measure name. Measure name is max of gauge is equal to total revenue into 1.10. Create the measure first. Home tab, new measure. The measure name is max of gauge. Total revenue into 1.10. After creating the measure, select the gauge. Go to the first button, add data to your visual. The measure which you have created, the max of gauge, drag it and drop it to this maximum value. That's all. Maximum value, drag and drop. That gauge which you have, the measure which you have created. Sir, what is the name you have given for the measure? Drag it to the maximum value. First button post. Okay. Let us explore the new slicer. Both are somewhat similar. We have new features under this. This is the card which we have used it earlier as I told, this card is going to retire as soon as possible. In near future, you may not very near. It will take at least another 2 or 3 years minimum. It may retire sooner. You may not get this card in near future. So you have to use the new card. Where is that new card? The card with the thunderbolt. The card with the thunderbolt. In my system, row number 1, 2, 3, 4th, last one. I will explain what is the difference between that card and this card. Actually, for getting the total revenue, target revenue, profit margin, we are used to the 3 cards. But here we can display everything in one card itself. So let me select this card. I am selecting this card. Click on this card. We have inserted this card. For a time being, I am just minimizing this gauge to have some space. I am minimizing it. So let us insert this card. I have inserted the card. Sorry, old one. I selected the new card. Card with thunderbolt. I selected the card with thunderbolt. Now what is the advantage or purpose of this is? Let me drag the total revenue into the value area. We'll change the millions into exact value later. And target revenue also into here. And maybe the profit margin also into the value area. So you can see all the 3 can be displayed in one card. All the 3 in one card. There are furthermore other features available. We'll see that. No need for inserting 3 cards. We can bring all the cards in, all the 3 things in one card. That's one advantage. Another advantage is, suppose I don't like this millions. How can I change the millions into exact value? Format. Unfortunately, there is no option called as display units. And this card, I don't like this to come left to right. I want total revenue on the top, target revenue on the bottom, and profit margin on the bottom here. So you can change the layout also. Go to the multi-card layout and you can select the layout horizontally or vertically. So you want vertically like this, one on the top, another one on the bottom. You can have a vertical cards like this. Select the card, go to format, multi-card layout. Whether you want it is vertically, horizontally, or like a grid. So whichever you want, you can select it. Vertical, horizontal, multi-card layout. Yes. Okay. Then go to format, multi-card layout. What are all the other advantages? Now, let us collapse this multi-card layout. You can add some rows, columns, that's your wish. But as of now, I have only 3. I collapse this multi-card layout. There is something cards, we'll explore the card. Card is that sizing another part, and instead of rectangle and other things, you can use it. Let us go to the call out. We'll go to the call out. Under call out, it says apply settings to all. Apply settings to all instead of all. For example, this total revenue, I don't want it in millions. I want the exact value. So what you do is apply settings to, go to the call out. Under call out, apply settings to total revenue and scroll down value. When you select the total revenue, you expand that value and change the display units as none. So you will get the exact value for total revenue. No other go, you have to do it for all the 3. Because one may be in millions, another may be in hundreds, another may be in thousands also. So each one you can change it here. If you select card all, there is no display units. You will not find the display units itself. You can select it and check, it will not. The display units will get hidden. Total revenue. Target revenue also, I am changing the display units as none. And profit margin also, I am changing the display units as none. Decimal position is your wish. You can change that. That is based on my data format. Go to general, data format, total revenue, you can put the decimal comma separators here. Or you can add a, go to data format, apply settings to total revenue, target revenue, profit margin. Each and everything you can change it. One more advantage we'll see in this card. Then we'll see the slicer, multi-slicer. But to finish it off at least this, then we have to create some other visual also. Done. Any challenges, sir? Any problem? You need my support. Have you selected the 1000 separators? That's what. Go there and unfortunately maybe by default that measure the comma separator would have been enabled. So go to the data format, general data format, and go to the apply settings to total revenue or target revenue, whichever you want. Select total revenue, select the whole number, and put the comma separators. Same for target revenue also. Now, one more advantage of this new card is, I'll go to the visual. Let us collapse this call out. Don't collapse the call out. Don't use the call out again because there is one small confusion. Under the call out, there is an option called as image. Don't do that. Don't do that. You will not get the value. Your value will be overwritten by image. So what I will do is I will collapse this call out. Now, for example, to put some image. So let us get some image. For example, I'll go to my Google or something and I'll search for the image for total revenue, some downloadable image. I'm getting total revenue image, some image from online. Yeah, I'm getting some image, maybe this image, any one of the image. I'm getting some image here. Right click, save the image as. I'm saving the image. Right click, I'm saving the image, and I'm saving it in the same folder where my file is available. Copy paste also, yes. Total revenue, this is the image for total revenue. So I downloaded some image. This image, I want it here to represent it more visually. Maybe you can dynamically change the image. We'll see it in another few minutes. Select this card. Go to format. I have downloaded one image for total revenue. Go to the format, image, under image, it says apply settings to all. No, it's not apply settings to all. Let us change it to total revenue. Switch on the image and upload that image. Browse and I select the total revenue image here. I'm selecting the total revenue image. Yes. So I'm getting that image below the total revenue. Or you can put it as horizontally or vertically and you can see the images also. So total revenue, I'm getting that image below the total revenue. Let me do it one more time. I'll get it for the target revenue also. Target revenue image. Maybe this one. Something. Right click, save image. It's not a JPEG. Some image. Target revenue. Or as we did it in the morning, you can copy the URL and paste it also. You can copy the link and paste it also. Instead of downloading, there is option of the enter URL and you can enter the URL also. That also can be done. Dynamic, we will see it in another few minutes. Target revenue, image, upload that image. Browse. Yes. On the URL, you can get that URL also. For example, for profit margin.
Change the position of the image or
If it is a vertical, horizontal, as of now, it will arrange automatically. You cannot change it as of now. Maybe they will improve it. We'll see. As it's very new one, they didn't do many changes. Very few changes are there. Profit margin. I'm not downloading that profit margin. I'm right clicking and copy image link. I'm not downloading it. I'm copying the image link. Go to that format, card, and I say profit margin. Switch on the image. We are not uploading the image. Instead of that, we'll select enter URL and paste that URL here. I am pasting that URL here. Yes. So one is I uploaded the image. Another one is I pasted that URL here. So this is the advantage of using the new card. Old card, you cannot do this. You cannot insert the images like this. You can just display the value. That too, one card, one value. Here I can have one card, multiple values can be displayed. To have a better representation, pictorial representation. You see how to get a dynamic pictures, images. Just the item. Increase the increase the height. Reduce the Let us see the dynamic images. For example, let us take this slicer for braking system for electrical, electronics and engine fuel system. Or you have the employee names, you have the product names. Every time I cannot download it. I can have it on my source data. It should dynamically pick the images and it should display the dynamic images here. If the braking system is selected, next to the braking system, I want the braking system. Every time I cannot upload it, every time I cannot use the URL. I can put it in the master. As I told, next to the employee name, I want the employee photograph. Next to the product, I want the product photograph. Similarly, let us take, because I have lesser on the category, I am taking the category. Braking system, I want the photograph of the braking system should appear. Electrical, electronics, I want the photograph of it. Similarly, engine and fuel system, I want the photograph of it. So let me do this on the source table, or you can do it in Power Query also. Let me do it on the source table. I will open that source table, that original Excel table, that is my business transaction. Let me take this business transaction table. In this business transaction table, let us go to the product category table, product category. Let me take something like this. Example. Instead of this example, I want to put a picture of this picture. That picture should appear, that picture link, that picture should appear in my Power BI. So I am going to put a picture for this. For engine and fuel system, I want to put a picture. Transmission and driveline, I want to put a picture here. So like this, if I add some new category and new picture, it should get updated in my Power BI. That's what we are going to do now. First, let us get a picture here. First, let me go with this engine and fuel system. So let me get some pictures. Once again, in online, I am going to get some pictures. One or two first we'll try. Then we'll see the other part. Engine and fuel system image. Some dummy, or you can get it from your company online website also, if you have some pictures. Engine and fuel system. I'm getting some pictures like this. Don't download the picture. Right click. Once again, the copy image link. Right click and copy image link. And I paste it straight to this engine and fuel system in this column called as example. Or you can create one more column and you can paste it also. As of now, I'm using it in the example column itself. Control V. That link, I am pasting it here. Let me do two things and we'll try. If it is working, we'll try for other three also. Next. Transmission and drivetrain. I am going to download another image here. Let us go to online and I once again paste this. Or if you have the image on your company website, you can get it from your company website also. Transmission and driveline image. For example, I'll select something here. Right click. Copy image link. And I paste it here. Okay. So two things we did it. Other three things we'll do it in another few minutes. First, let me try this, whether it's working or not. If it is not working, then we'll see the other part. So this, I think it should work. So we copied and pasted only these two things in my source table. For this engine and fuel, we have copied and pasted a link. And for the transmission and driveline, we have copied and pasted the link. Now I'll save it and close this. Save and close. Come to Power BI. Come to Power BI. We cannot use this slicer. There is one more slicer available here. Button slicer. Button slicer from the last row, above the last row, last but one, third one. Button slicer. This slicer you cannot insert a picture. That's the old slicer. So let us click on the button slicer. Inside the button slicer, I selected the button slicer. Inside the button slicer, let us drag the category, product category into the slicer area here. Straight away you can drag it to the slicer area also, no problem. Or you can drag it to the value area here. Both are same. I'll drag it in the slicer area. Yes, you can see it's displaying the braking system. We can arrange the rows and columns later. First we'll try that. So we have inserted a button slicer. Inside the button slicer, we have dragged and dropped the category here. Braking system, electrical electronics, engine fuel system. So all things are displayed. Now next to the braking system, I want the picture of this braking system. I didn't insert the picture. What is the picture? I think engine and fuel, I think I have inserted a picture. Transmission and driveline, I have inserted a picture. So I want the picture to be displayed here. Select this slicer. Format. Select the slicer. Go to format. Image. Select the slicer. Format. Image. And you can see, select the format image, expand that image, select from data. It says select from data. I think which data, which column we have that picture is examples. Drag that example and bring it to the field area. Drag that example to the field area. Unfortunately, nothing is appearing. The reason is we have did some changes. Unfortunately, we didn't refresh it. Excel, we have made the changes. After making the changes, we have closed it, but we didn't refresh that. We should have refreshed it. So let me go to the home tab, refresh. I click on the refresh now. Since we have made some changes in the source, after making the changes in the source, I didn't refresh my table. That's the reason I'm refreshing it now. Yes, it is getting refreshed. Yes, I got the picture here. I am doing it for the next product also. I open that Excel source file, business transaction, and I'll open this product category because straight away, this is the column which I used it in my slicer. Straight to this column in an example, or you can put it in description, you can put it in purpose, you can add a new column and do it also. But I'm doing it in the example column. For the braking system, let me add a picture. First, I will download the picture. I will go to the Google here. Braking system image. Maybe some image. Right click. Copy image link. Right click on the picture. Copy image link. As I told you, can get it from online from your website also. Copy image link. Come to Excel and paste it here. That example column, I'm pasting it. Let me do it for electrical and electronic also. Right click, copy image link. Paste it. Final one, suspension and body components. The final one, right click, copy image link. So I have downloaded I have got the link for all the 5 categories. I have inserted in the column called as examples. You can insert it in description column or create a second column, another column and insert it also. Now save and close it. Now select the slicer. You have to go to format, visual, go to image, switch on the image, and there will be an option called as field. Add field, add data here. In this, you have to drag and drop the example here. Because the example is the column where we have used that link. Now, since we have made the change, I didn't refresh it. Source, yes, correct. Field source. Select from the source. Here we have to drag this field. I'm saying this one, sir, this name. Drag that example column into that field. That example column is where we used that, and then refresh it. Then refresh your Power BI. Yes, all the 5 pictures are displayed. So this slicer is not required for me. I can delete this slicer. Since we have added a new slicer. One minute. Let me rearrange the slicer and I'll come, sir. Rearrange the slicer because Go to the slicer, format. I'll go to multi-button layout, and I want how many rows and how many columns. Let us say I want only one column with 5 rows. One column with 5 rows. Got it like this. Or 5 rows, 1 column, your wish. 1 row and 5 columns. Because I have 5 categories, that's why I am putting 5 columns. I think this looks good. 1 row and 5 columns. Yes. Image. Okay, sorry. It's 1:30. So at 12:30 we have to take a break. So save the file. If you have any questions, any doubts on this, park it. We'll see after the lunch break. And we have to see some more new visuals also like this. Save this file. And we'll go for a break. I'm stopping the class. Just remind me we have to start.